Chapter 4: Things Which Help. Zen is not a shopping list. You do not acquire things to become enlightened, and no gadget can carry you across the river of ordinary life. Yet there are tools, spaces, and habits that help illuminate the path when your feet are tired or your mind is crowded. The title of this chapter, Things Which Help, is honest rather than grandiose. It signals that practice is practical, that you can pick up a few dependable aids and use them without turning your life into a museum of techniques. What follows are simple, reliable helpers for a layperson living in the world. A note before we begin. It is tempting to frame Things Which Help as a catalog of what to own. Don't. The point is not accumulation but discernment. Ask of each helper, does this reduce noise in the mind and invite presence? Does it support honest effort without becoming a new shield against reality? If a tool becomes a trap, consuming time, money, or ego, it is better left aside. Let your practice decide what to keep. Let your life decide what to let go. 1. A space and a time that belong to you. A quiet corner or a small room used for practice is not a shrine but a signal. It says, in a gentle voice, "This is where we slow down." The space itself does not need to be fancy. A clean surface, a chair or a cushion, a light blanket for chill days, and a window with a view of trees or sky. The light matters less than the intention. How to set it up simply. Choose a corner that can be quiet at a predictable time. If possible, reserve it for practice, even if only for 15 minutes. A cushion zafu if you have one, plus a mat. If not, a firm chair works well. The aim is an upright but relaxed posture. A timer. A gentle chime or a phone timer set to a calm sound helps anchor your practice without nagging you with alerts. A minimal practice object, if you wish, a small bell, a stick of incense, if you enjoy it, and it does not irritate you, or simply your breath. A routine matters as much as the room. Try to practice at about the same time each day. Consistency, even when it is brief, makes a space feel owned by the practice rather than owned by your thoughts about the practice. 2. The body, posture, breath, and ease. In Zen practice, the body is the first instrument of attention. Without the body, the mind cannot settle. But posture is not rigidity, it is alignment with ease. Posture options: choose what fits you today. Seated full lotus or half lotus if your hips permit. If not, sit cross-legged on the cushion or sit on a chair with feet flat on the ground. Sit tall but relaxed. Imagine a string on the crown of your head lifting you slightly, the chin tucked a touch, shoulders dropping away from the ears. Hands rest in your lap, one palm cupping the other, thumbs lightly touching. The Cosmic Mudra is traditional, but the simplest is to rest the hands softly so the arms feel supported. The spine is upright but not stiff. You want to feel a sense of space along the spine. Breathing helps the mind settle. Begin with 3 slow, full breaths. Inhale through the nose, soften the belly, exhale slowly. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. As you sit, count breaths if you find your mind wandering. Inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2, up to 10, then back to 1. If counting becomes mechanical or stressful, drop it and simply notice the breath. If the breath feels shallow or you begin to feel tension, soften the jaw, unclench the teeth, and let the shoulders release. Gentle belly breathing, letting the abdomen rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale, often helps. How long to sit? For beginners, 5 to 10 minutes is a solid start. If you feel comfortable, extend to 15 or 20 minutes on some days. The key is regularity, not duration. What to do with a restless mind? It is normal for thoughts to come. Do not chase them. Acknowledge, thinking, and gently bring attention back to the sensation of breathing or the feeling of the body in contact with the cushion or chair. Label without judgment. Thinking, planning, worrying. Then return to breathing or the body's sensations. If pain or discomfort intrudes, adjust your posture slightly, or take a few breaths with awareness of the area that hurts, then resume. 3. The Mind Tools, simple practices for attention. Zen practice offers straightforward ways to meet the mind without getting lost in it. 2 reliable tools. Shikantaza, just sitting, let thoughts rise and fall like clouds. Your job is not to chase or fix them but to remain present with the breathing, the body, or the sense of being in the moment. This is an invitation to relaxation with awareness, not passivity. Mindful labeling or noting. When a thought arises or a sensation changes, softly label it, then return to the base of your practice. Examples: thinking, feeling, sensing the breath. This labeling creates a gentle separation between you and the thought, reducing reactivity. Walk and stop practice, kinhin in small doses. Stand up slowly from the cushion. Walk slowly for 20 or 30 steps, paying attention to each footfall. If you wander, stop and return to the wordless breath or to the contact of foot to ground. This moving form of meditation is especially accessible in a busy life. 4. Rituals and daily life, turning ordinary acts into practice. Zen is not only retreat, it lives in the ordinary hours between the bells. Small rituals help translate intention into action. Morning ritual, a practical template, adaptable. Wake, take a mindful breath, and acknowledge the day with a simple bow or nod to the practice corner. Drink a glass of water slowly, naming it as a preparation for clarity. Before brushing teeth or starting coffee, spend 1 to 2 minutes in quiet sitting. Let the day's mood reveal itself without judgment. Move into the first task of the day with a chosen intention. Today I will listen more. Or, today I will notice when I react. Meal practice. Eat slowly, with awareness. Put utensils down between bites. Chew thoroughly, noticing colors, textures, and tastes. If possible, pause to acknowledge the source of your food, people who prepared it, the journey it took to arrive on your plate. A 3 to 5 minute walking or standing meditation after a meal can help your body settle and your mind digest both food and experience. Evening walking or quiet time. A short walk after the day's main tasks can be a gentle closing ritual. Allow each step to become an opportunity to soften into the present moment. If possible, practice a slow, mindful walk of 10 to 15 minutes a day, letting eyes soften and ears listen to ambient sounds rather than chasing a mental narrative. 7. Reading, study, and wisdom tools in moderation. Books are aids, not obligations. They point to the truth, they do not become the truth itself. What to read and how to read. Choose sources that emphasize practice over theory, clear expositions on mindfulness, direct guidance on sitting posture, and reflections on daily life from practitioners. Read with an intention to apply, not accumulate. After a chapter, try one concrete practice for a week, a more mindful mealtime, a slower morning, a specific breath exercise. Combine light study with quiet practice. If your mind feels crowded after reading, take a short sit, then return to the book with less pressure. 8. Digital life, reducing noise, preserving attention. In modern life, screens are powerful and often draining. Zen practice benefits from mindful use of technology. Simple principles. Create a gentle tech boundary. Consider a daily window when notifications are off, and you can be present with the people around you. Use focus times for deep work or practice instead of constant multitasking. A timer can remind you to come back to your breath or body. When scrolling or browsing, pause and ask, is this helping me become more present or driving me toward reactivity? If it's the latter, step away. 9. Diet, rest, and body care. The body's basic needs do not belong to a separate realm of practice, but meeting them well frees the mind to attend. Tips for mindful living in food and rest. Eat with intention and gratitude. Stop before you're full. Savor what you've chosen to eat. Honor the body's need for rest. Sleep is not the enemy of practice but its ally. Create a gentle wind-down ritual in the evening, such as a short breath exercise or a few minutes of quiet sitting. Gentle movement is part of practice. A few minutes of stretching or slow walking can prevent the body from becoming a source of distraction during longer sits. 10. Dealing with obstacles, restlessness, pain, and discouragement. No practice is free from difficulty. The question is not whether there will be obstacles, but how you meet them. Common obstacles and how to respond. Restlessness, shorten your sit, switch to walking meditation, or do a body scan. Return to the breath in small doses rather than forcing a long session. Drowsiness, sit with longer exhalations, stand up briefly, splash cold water on the face, or take a short, careful movement to reawaken the body. Then resume. Pain or discomfort, adjust posture so pain is not overwhelming, use cushions for support, and practice with awareness of the sensation without amplifying it. If pain persists, consult a healthcare professional and tailor your practice to your body's limits. Discouragement or enemy of practice. Thoughts. Treat discouragement as a form of sensation to be observed. Label it briefly, discouragement, and return to the breath or the body's contact with the ground. Remember that every mind has a weather pattern. It passes. 11. Ethics and the lay practitioner's vows. Zen practice does not exist in a vacuum. It is grounded in a sincere, compassionate engagement with life. Simple ethical orientation. Non-harm. Aim to avoid causing needless harm to others, ourselves included. Honesty. Speak truthfully and gently. Be honest about your practice, your limits, and your intentions. Generosity. Share what you have, time, attention, listening, skill, when it can help another without expectation of reward. Gratitude. Recognize the interconnected web of life that supports your practice. Teachers, friends, family, the moment itself. The lay practitioner's vow is modest, not grand. Show up honestly, practice with kindness, and let action in daily life reflect your intention. 12. A practical plan you can try this week. To turn these ideas into something usable, here is a simple, adaptable plan you can try for 7 days. It is designed for a layperson with a busy schedule, not a retreat master. Daily practice: 10 minutes sitting every morning, plus 5 minutes of mindful walking in the afternoon or evening, if mornings are crowded. The setup: 1 dedicated corner or chair, a timer, minimal distractions. Use a gentle bell to end each sit. During the sit, 5 minutes of breath awareness. If thoughts arise, label them briefly, acknowledge, and return to the breath. Walking: 10 to 15 minutes, slow pace, focus on the feet and the breath with each step. If your mind wanders, do not scold yourself, just return to the sensation of contact with the ground and the breath. Daily life anchor: choose one ordinary task, washing dishes, making tea, tidying, and do it with full attention for 2 to 5 minutes. Notice the texture, smell, and process. Treat it as a practice itself. Digital check-ins: once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Ask yourself, am I present here, now? If not, gently reset. End of day reflection: 2 minutes of quiet sitting or a brief journal note about one thing found in practice that day, an insight, a breath, or a moment of ease. If 7 days feels long, begin with 3. If you feel ready for more, extend by a few minutes or add one additional day of walking or a short read-aloud contemplation from a text you trust. 13. Integrating practice with the rest of life. The most valuable things which help are not objects but the ability to translate practice into life's ordinary scenes, a tense meeting, a long commute, a moment of kindness, a moment of irritation, a quiet morning, a noisy street. Let practice remind you to pause before you react. A simple 3-breath pause can change outcomes. Let practice teach you to listen more deeply. Before offering an opinion or a judgment, listen to the other person with your whole body, eyes soft, breath even, posture open. Let practice cultivate patience. Intrinsic to Zen is the patience to let things unfold, to wait for the next moment without forcing it. 14. A closing reminder. The list above is a toolbox, not a rulebook. The beauty of Zen for a layperson lies in its freedom to shape itself around your life. If you are a parent, a student, a professional, or a caregiver, you will discover ways to weave practice into the rhythms you already inhabit. It may be as simple as a few mindful breaths between tasks, or as tangible as a weekly sitting with a neighbor who shares the path. The path is not perfect mindfulness, nor a flawless, uninterrupted stream of serenity. It is a patient, ordinary friendship with your own moment-to-moment experience. It asks for honesty about your limits, tenderness toward your own faults, and a consistent willingness to return to the breath and to the body, again and again, without drama, with gentle resolve. If you're seeking a rule of thumb, the more a tool helps you wake up to what is happening, the more it is worth keeping. If a tool causes you to tighten, judge yourself unfairly, or chase a fantasy of perfection, set it aside and try something simpler. Zen is about clarity, not credit. A final invitation. Begin where you are. Your environment, your body, your schedule, all of these are your teachers, even when they are imperfect. The real practice does not require you to become someone else. It asks you to become more fully present as you are in your day-to-day life. So try one or two of the following today. Create or refine your simple practice corner and sit for 10 minutes with a calm breath. Take a 5-minute mindful walk, paying attention to each step. Eat one meal with slow, attentive awareness, stopping between bites and noting the taste and texture. Spend 2 minutes labeling thoughts during a quiet moment, returning to the breath whenever you drift. If you do these, you will have taken meaningful steps toward a life in which your practice supports you rather than competing with your life. The goal is not to accumulate techniques but to cultivate a steady, gentle awareness that can accompany you wherever you go. In time, things which help cease to be other things at all. They become companions, quiet, reliable, and present. And that is a form of Zen too, not a break from life, but a way of living with life more clearly. The chapter you hold in your hands may call these tools things which help, but the deeper truth is that they are aids to opening the eyes you already carry with you, the eyes that see the moment as it is, and meet it with a steady, compassionate breath.